With Star Wars Celebration confirming several new and interesting initiatives for the next few years, the Star Wars property is considerably more saturated than ever. Despite these new storylines, one old fan theory persists. Samuel L. Jackson's Jedi Master, Mace Windu, survived the events of Order 66.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
And if that's the case, then we do need a Star Wars show about him. And in today's video, we'll be looking at the reasons why, but before that, let's look at a bit of his history. Mace Windu sensed odd currents at work in the Force during the latter years of the Republic. Long the Jedi's advocate, he worked to keep the Order's old traditions alive amid the galactic upheaval and political corruption. Mace, who was never patient with individuals who violated the Jedi Council, questioned the renegade Jedi Qui-Gon Jinn's belief in the reappearance of the old Sith. Qui-Gon was correct about the Sith, and he died in battle with Darth Maul, who Obi-Wan Kenobi killed. Mace and his old buddy Yoda pondered a sad mystery at Qui-Gon's funeral. Was Maul the Sith Master or the apprentice? Mace dismissed Qui-Gon's assertion that young Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one prophesied by Jedi prophecy. Anakin demonstrated exceptional Force abilities, but Mace refused Qui-Gon's request to train the kid. Mace believed Anakin was too old to devote himself to the Force without being distracted by his emotional attachments. Mace never stopped suspecting young Skywalker, and his unspoken distrust would cloud their connection as Anakin rose through the Jedi ranks. As the Separatist crisis enveloped the galaxy, Chancellor Palpatine was cautioned by Mace that the Jedi were too few to defend the Republic in the event of war. Mace's experience blinded him to the mounting threat posed by Separatist Commander Count Dooku. He refused to accept that a former Jedi like Dooku would resort to assassinating senators like Padme Amidala. But Mace heeded Yoda's warnings that the galaxy's problems were caused by the dark side of the Force.
The dark side clouds everything. Impossible to see.
And he couldn't ignore other frightening developments, such as the discovery that the mysterious Kaminoans had been hired to produce a clone army for the Republic. It was time to act after the Separatist ally Geonosians kidnapped Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme. Mace led a Jedi strike force to Geonosis, where they fought Dooku and his droids in the planet's gladiatorial arena. Mace killed the bounty hunter Jango Fett, but Separatist hordes crushed his soldiers. Only the entrance of Yoda and the clone army spared Mace from being killed in battle. Mace's escape provided little solace. The galaxy was now at war, and the Jedi were thrust into an unexpected and hazardous duty as generals. During the Clone Wars, Mace's appearance on the battlefield demonstrated why he was regarded as a fighter. During the Republic War to reclaim Ryloth, he led clone soldiers in an attack on Lesu and personally captured Wat Tambor, the Separatist emir who had ravaged the planet. Despite his dislike of politics, he proved an effective diplomat, mediating an agreement between the Twi'lek freedom fighter Cham Syndulla and the planet's corrupt senator Orn Free Taa. Mace spent most of the Clone Wars on Coruscant, leading the Jedi in their dangerous role as military leaders. He was quick to chastise Jedi who disobeyed commands, reassigning rebellious Padawans like Ahsoka Tano to dull tasks that gave them time to reflect on their errors. When dealing with the military and politicians, Mace carefully maintained the Jedi's independence and sought to uphold Jedi beliefs. He was against Mallastar's Dugs killing the ancient creature known as the Zillo Beast. And was against Palpatine bringing the Great Beast to Coruscant for scientific research. As the war progressed, Mace grew increasingly suspicious of Palpatine, but he never suspected that the Supreme Chancellor was the Sith Lord Darth Sidious. Mace was concerned by Palpatine's request to make Anakin his representative on the Jedi Council, advising his fellow Jedi Masters that pairing the Supreme Chancellor with the powerful, volatile young Jedi was risky. He agreed that if Palpatine did not relinquish his wartime powers following the death of the Separatist General Grievous, Jedi should depose the Supreme Chancellor and seize control of the Senate. When Anakin discovered Palpatine was the Sith Lord Darth Sidious, Mace realized the Jedi Order's future was in jeopardy and tried to arrest the Supreme Chancellor. Mace appeared to have defeated Sidious, raising his lightsaber to strike down the Sith Lord, but a desperate Anakin ignited his own weapon, severing Mace's forearm. Sidious then struck Mace with Force lightning, causing the renowned Jedi champion to fall to his death. Mace Windu is a total badass of a Jedi. This is a nod to the "I shall strike down upon thee with vast fury and passionate anger" energy that Samuel L. Jackson brings to the Jedi Master in George Lucas's prequel trilogy, but it's also a realization of a simple fact: Mace Windu is an absolute badass. Recently, it was claimed that Jackson stated that his Star Wars persona is still alive and that he would be interested in repeating the role. Fans will recall that after being de-armed by Anakin, Mace was electrocuted by Palpatine's Force lightning and zapped off a building. Fans are also aware that we never see him actually die. Many have speculated as to how this incredibly powerful Jedi could succumb so readily. Losing limbs didn't stop Anakin. Windu would have undoubtedly awoken from his zapping and gotten a ride on a glider. Jackson is also aware of the fan theories and appeared to acknowledge them when he said on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, "There's a huge history of people with one hand returning in Star Wars." And the actor agreed with the host that Mace Windu is still out there somewhere, albeit one-handed. Windu's survival would not be surprising, given that Darth Maul survived being ripped in half and plummeting a large distance down a strange chute thing. Boba Fett is eaten by a sarlacc, but survives through the protection of his suit. Meanwhile, Palpatine somehow reappeared. Windu's survival would be the easiest comeback to explain. However, any series or film would have to explain his absence in the original trilogy. But what we really need is a prequel series, an entire show dedicated to investigating Windu's background, which is ripe for a dramatic adaptation by midi-chlorian standards. Here's the root of it. Mace was an angry man who rose to become the greatest swordsman in the entire Jedi Order, with a distinct style that integrated dark side methods. He also possessed a purple lightsaber. It's common knowledge, but it's interesting how Jackson's fortuitous request for a purple lightsaber, expressed while filming the prequels, was eventually woven into his character's narrative. While Jedi normally use green or blue lightsabers, Mace's lightsaber is purple. Yes, there are additional colors, but we'll leave that to the fans in the comment section below. Purple, by the way, is a combination of red and blue, so it's a neat way of displaying Mace's mastery of the highly aggressive Vapad lightsaber form and his own unique absorption of the dark side. Windu's martial prowess was demonstrated in the prequels when he deflected bounty hunter Jango Fett's blaster blasts while charging him down and decapitating him. He also defeated Darth Sidious in a one-on-one battle while his fellow Jedi were all slaughtered. Although this is debatable because it may be seen that this was all part of Sidious's clever scheme to manipulate Anakin. However, in a series focusing on the young Mace, we may show him dealing with the dark side while learning about the Jedi Order's doctrines, friction in the Academy, and coming to terms with Yoda. The task of gathering Kyber crystals, as well as some explanation for why Mace came so close to the prohibited dark side and why he was permitted to do so, and maybe a love interest. A subsequent season of our fantasy series could skip ahead and present a wiser and scarred Samuel L. Jackson, which would be nice. However, a youthful Mace Windu would provide an opportunity for Disney and Lucasfilm to have a black protagonist for the first time. To be honest, it's strange that so many Jedi from a galaxy far, far away are so pasty white, and it's a disservice that we've seen Luke, Anakin, Rey, Cal Kestis, Kylo Ren, and Han Solo be central characters, and most of them have their own dramatic vehicles, but none with non-white protagonists. Finn, played by John Boyega, was intended to play a more major role in the sequels than he did, but eventually was overshadowed in favor of Daisy Ridley's character. From pictures of him wielding a lightsaber to how his role was emphasized in The Force Awakens, it is evident that Boyega was treated unfairly, and the shift in focus to Rey probably made the entire sequel trilogy a lot worse. Also, consider Pedro Pascal's own identification as a white person for thinking of The Mandalorian as a vehicle with a POC lead. Disney could even make a star out of a young unknown black actor in a Windu original series. It makes no sense in this galaxy right now that one of the coolest, badass Jedi hasn't gotten his own spin-off or series treatment. Well, we're looking forward to seeing a more complex, dark and light portrayal of a Jedi Master. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. See you in the next one.